Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Atomic Salt Live Show. This is a show we're going to discuss everything in the tabletop hobby world. We are back from our holiday vacation and ready to talk about everything going on lately in the tabletop hobby. I'm Wild Chevy. As always, I'm joined by my buddy Casey. Casey, how have you been the past month?
Has it been a month already?
Oh, it's been over a month.
Yikes. Well, been doing pretty good, actually. We did a lot of gaming, had a lot of holidays. So, yeah, it's been a pretty good time. How about yourself?
Yeah. Lately, getting ready for LVO, starting up a ITS league for Infinity. So, yeah, having fun with the hobby.
You know, that's the important thing, right? Is that we're having a good time. Let's break those down one at a time. So first of all, let's go with your ITS league.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
So we are doing our first Infinity, the game ITS league in our local area. And for the folks who don't know, in our previous leagues and everything, we were working with another store. It's generally the whole of Utah, and so we got more workhorse now. So we're trying to break everything up a little bit.
Yeah, you know, everything was kind of centered around Salt Lake, which is generally central for Utah. But when it means it's central for everyone, it's really convenient for just about no one.
Yep. So this is a 8-week league. We are doing limited insertion, which is a very interesting new setup for this ITS season.
Yeah, you know, it's new for the season, and I think there was a lot of comments on it in general, you know, on both sides. You know, one, that this was the greatest thing ever, or two, this was like the dumbest thing ever. And I kind of fall into the idea that this is really kind of amazing.
Yeah. So in Infinity right now, you can, as you're building your army or your faction list, you can have as many groups as you can fit in the points, and every group is limited to 10 units. Limited insertion is more of a fluffy. This is a squad going out to do a specific mission, and they just so happen to run into an enemy faction, and it's limited down to only one group. So at a max, you can have 10 regular orders in one group.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of people, I mean, a lot of the consternation was pretty much dependent on, you know, were you the kind of person who ran a ton of orders in your army, or were you the kind of person who, you know, just kind of didn't?
Yeah. Some factions were very good at horde armies. Some factions had trouble getting a lot of troops on the board. So this is a nice way to break everything up.
Yeah, you know, and I think it was nice because it gave you, you know, regardless of whether or not your army works well with this way or not, it gave you a new way to play.
Mm-hmm.
And which I think is always good.
So you've played your first week. What did you think? Or tell us how your first week went.
Oh, wow. So I brought my Steel Phalanx army, you know, which you would assume would do well, right? And in a small order group, because, you know, we tend to have a lot of high-priced, really exceptional elite units. and we squared off against the combined army. Our with not one but two Sepsiders in it.
Now, what is a Sepsider?
So a Sepsider is a little piece of equipment that only the combined army has access to. It allows them to, if they hit you with it, and if you have a cube, which some armies have random units with cubes. Every unit has a cube in it, and that cube. And if you have a cube, then that means that you have to. You essentially auto take a hit, and the strength is the willpower of the user who hits you with it, and it's against your BTS. If you pass it, nothing happens. If you fail, well, then your model belongs to the other guy in its entirety. It doesn't generate any orders for them, but it becomes just another troop for them. So, yeah. So I had a whole. I think I had a pretty strong plan going in, and I feel like I executed it well. Right up until that Sepsider hit my whole link team.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So, what mission we were playing this week was our mission was rescue. And what did you think of that?
I really liked rescue. This is the second time that I've played it. It's certainly not an easy mission, right? Like, it's not one of those missions where you can just kind of walk up and say, I know what I'm doing, I'll be fine. Like, you really need to have a plan going into this mission. And with being limited assertion, even more so.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those focus on the objective missions.
And which, again, I'm okay with that. Like, I like missions that are really going to make me think and make me work. But boy, it sure is tough. So, yeah, that was a tough one. So the Sepster hit us, and then then he walked on 380 combat troops.
Oh.
So yeah, lots of fun. I don't actually I don't begrudge him. I think it was a great list. He never played it before, so he wasn't quite sure what it was going to do. So yeah, it was kind of interesting, just kind of watching it all pan out. But I realized pretty quick by the end of turn 2 that I wasn't going to win this. So I basically kind of changed gears, and my goal at that point was to get my classified objective in, which I did. So I got my classified objective in. And then after that, it was he kept trying for the objective, but I had some really stout defense on my part. My army was broken up essentially into two groups. The first group was my go out and try and push buttons and do things group, and the other half of my list was essentially dedicated towards making sure that he couldn't do that to me.
Yeah, I think this. Like, if you can pull it off in the first round, this mission is cakewalk. Second round, then it just becomes a try to do it. The third round, it's like, okay, let's set up so nobody else can do it.
Yeah, and it's yeah, it's just kind of a rough mission, you know. Um, so he shut down my offensive capabilities. I mostly shut down his offensive capabilities. I got my classified. He managed to get his classified, and then we just kind of looked at each other at the top of 3, and we're like, well, that's kind of it. So it was a lot of fun. We played against a guy named Keith. It was my first time ever playing against him, and he was a great guy to play against. I really enjoyed it. I'd be happy to play against him again sometime.
Well, that's good.
So
I think the one real good thing I think about this limited insertion stuff, it helps out new players because there's not a lot of it, not a big investment in only having 10 guys, and it lets you learn the game with a smaller amount of people.
Yeah, you know, I guess in theory, you know, the game should go a little faster. But that wasn't necessarily the case for this game. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I kind of kicked myself because at the bottom of the second, because I was going second, what you want to do in this mission, I believe. I thought I was in a lot more dire straits than I was. But looking at it now, after thinking about it a few days, I think I was a little overly aggressive. I hung my lieutenant out there because it had a Spitfire and Link team, thinking, this will work. I'll be able to kill some people. And no, my lieutenant died to death. So yeah, and so it really wasn't necessary for me to have done that. Had I not done that, and I hadn't gotten to loss of lieutenant my 3rd turn, I might have been able to throw a Hail Mary and get somebody out there and maybe connect to one of the civilians.
Yeah, last lieutenant is no joke.
You know, it's really not. It is serious business.
It's a lot better than what it was before.
True. I mean, essentially before it was like auto lose.
Yeah, it's like, all right, your round is done. You get 2 orders, you have to sign somebody new and pass it to your opponent.
So yeah.
So what are you gonna? Next round is round 2 or week 2 is another new mission, Deadly Dance. How you feel about that? I don't think you have a tag for your army, right?
I don't have a tag, and that's something that's been kind of worrying me just a little bit. Deadly Dance is it's a mission that I'm looking forward to because I think it's kind of interesting, but at the same time, I'm not. You know, I feel like it's a highly complex mission, which is generally good and fun. However, at the same time, complex missions take a lot of time.
Yeah, it does look like it has a lot of bookkeeping.
Yeah, and that's fine, right? Like when you're playing with your buddies. But in a tournament setting, I don't feel like that's necessarily like the best use of your time.
Well, and then we're going to be playing this in a tournament at the Las Vegas Open.
Yes, we are.
So, oddly enough, the first 3 rounds of our league just happened to be the limited insertion tournament rounds at Las Vegas Open.
Oh, almost like that was by design.
Yeah. So it's Rescue, Deadly Dance, and Tic-Tac-Toe.
Yeah, tic-tac-toe is actually one that I'm really interested in seeing. So, I don't know. Like, so you being the organizer, what do you think about it so far? Like, are you happy with how things are going?
Yeah, I mean, we got 10 people, so that's a good amount of folks to play. Um, I think it'll be interesting to see how folks organize for arranging matches, because we've got an eclectic group and it's real hard to get everybody's schedule to line up.
Yeah, have you announced this the pairings for this coming week?
Uh, for the first well, we've got 10 people, so ideally everybody should be able to play somebody they haven't, and so we can run it like that. And after the first couple of weeks, then we can see who's got the higher amount of points and kind of push those people together.
Okay, so it's just not going to be. It's not going to be like an automated pairing then.
Correct.
Okay. Very interesting. So you know the people who are playing this, like, do we have like any real face beaters in our group, or is this more of a general laid back kind of collection of people that you've put together? Or?
We've got some competent folks in the league, but being limited insertion, those folks, the ones from who played in the last league, are having to change their gears. So we'll see who the tyrant is in the coming weeks.
No, you're still the tyrant. You're just making all of your minions dance now. So, should we talk about LVO just a little bit here?
Sure. Since we are it is a month away.
I know, right? Like, it seems like it's far away, and then like, holy crap, we just have like a few weeks.
So, first week of February, Bally's Hotel Casino, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Friday through Sunday.
This is my second year going. I think this is your second year too, right?
Correct.
So why don't we talk a little bit about what was different from last year?
Well, we're both I'm playing Infinity this year. I was doing 40K last year.
So why did you make the jump?
I realized last year going to LVO, it's for 40K in a competitive standpoint, stronger metas have the advantage. And what I mean by that is that I was talking to some folks, and they're like, oh, yeah, we've got 3 really good stores in our area, and we can play a tournament once a week, just rotating through stores. And then we have like 20 people, and 20, 30 people in each tournament. Where here in Utah, you get maybe one a month, and then you'd be lucky if you got 8 people showing up, and it's 8 people you've already been playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces at the tournaments here.
So it became like, because I was like, okay, I've got a solid. I think I have a solid list. It plays pretty well. I play the missions. I shouldn't have anything to worry about. And then I went through 6 or 5 rounds at LVO, and I just got tore up. And I was like, there's stuff I never even thought about. There's stuff that um, a huge investment of money went into some of these armies, and I was blown away. And coming back, I was like, I look at our stuff, and I'm like, the there's only maybe one or two people who play at that level, and it's hard to gear up for that. And then the armies that I play haven't got any updates lately. Um, the 40K FAQ came out, threw a monkey wrench in my how I built my list, and it just became a real hard part to play.
Yeah, realistically, I mean, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you weren't expecting to go like 6-0 and you weren't planning on being a contender, right, for like the top 5 or 6 spots, right?
Yeah, I knew what I wasn't.
Yeah, but at the same time, nobody wants to go and get their face kicked in for 2 days.
Yeah,
that's not fun. And so I think that's kind of the problem that you face at a lot of these tournaments.
well, I think that's what you face with 40K, or where 40K was going, because in War Machine, you know what you're getting into because that's what uh, the game is all about. It's you've got your target goal, kill the enemy leader, and then if you can't do that, score points. So you're going to be facing some beat sticks, and 40K is like, well, we're just going to change this around a little bit, make you work for objectives, and it became yeah, it was hard to
Yeah.
have fun.
Yeah, and I mean, bottom line, if you're not having fun, you need to go and you need to find a new game, which and I'll say I'm not saying like I did exceptional at, because I played Infinity last year at LVO. And I'm not saying that I did exceptional. I don't know, I was middle of the road to maybe top third. But I don't know, like we just had more fun. Like we would go over and check on you guys, be like, "How you doing?" And you guys would just have like this shell-shocked look on your face.
Well,
And you're like, "Well, I just dealt with this." And we're
yeah,
like, "Oh,
because it's 2 hours, 2 hour or 2.5 hour rounds, and you're just like, it's hot. You have to calculate. You have to think, and it was a mental burnout.
yeah, I hear you. I believe you, because I've done that before. I file it under one of my less enjoyable experiences in gaming. And it has nothing to do with the players. Well, I mean, sometimes it does, but it's like it's just hard to go through that, no matter who you are. So, but at least like when you're playing Infinity, it's not because you didn't buy the right army.
Yeah, I mean, Infinity. I fell harder into Infinity because playing Arizona Armageddon, our local community got stronger, and it became a game that uh, our community was growing, and I was able to get behind it a lot better.
Yeah, and so you've got like a little extra involvement there on that front. So,
well, that's just recently with being a war core. But before that, I mean, we just had a lot of people. We had a good organizer organizing stuff up, leagues and tournaments, and I was able to just find my own niche. And yes, I mean, so, people call me Tyrant Ogden, only and
but
not,
we call you that out of love.
yeah, out of love, but it's and I'm like, I'm not the best player, but I don't win all the time either. But it all my games were enjoyable, and it always came down to this like uh, last little bit, or you knew you weren't going to get your teeth kicked in, and you had fun playing. That's, I think, what everybody wants out of a game, is to have fun playing it.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And I mean, that's kind of the important thing is, I mean, win or lose, you just want to have a good time. And unfortunately, I don't know, losing at 40K that much is not a good time for me. But I can lose at Infinity all day long, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but
Because you're used to it.
oh, he's funny. I'm gonna
Have we-
kick the crap out of you, Tyrant, next time we play.
Yeah, I mean, have we played? I can't remember the last time we've played each other.
It has been a very long time.
And I mean, I've got actual terrain now. I've got a mostly
I have
painted
terrain
army.
now too.
Yeah.
This is going to be like a classic. This is like Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed.
No, on the slides.
You've never even watched that movie, lady.
I don't know what the idea is.
My wife's over here talking trash.
No,
Trash and city talk.
because she knows I'm going to win. We're going to need a training montage. But you know what? I mean,
I'm
we
gonna go
rag,
running on a beach now. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
we rag on 40K, but I mean, 40K still has like some of the best miniatures on the market.
Oh, have you seen the new Saint Celestine?
Yeah.
I think that's what you're referring to, right?
No, I mean, like, I'm working on a Marauder right now on my desk. I have Aramon sitting, waiting to be built, and just for a game I don't want to play, I'm like, I want to buy the miniatures.
I know, right? I know. I love 40K, but every time I start thinking about a new army and I start writing lists out, and I'm like, yeah, this looks really cool. I come to the cost of it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh wait, no.
If they can figure out how to bring that back to a little bit more manageable level.
Well, that's kind of why, we hear these rumors of that 8th edition is going to allow for more, smaller games and stuff.
Age of 40K.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with that. Like, I'm not saying we need to blow up the universe like they did. And I understand why they did that in Age of Sigmar. But
it's interesting though, like because the fluff is moving along in 40K. We've got
yes, it is.
We've got Magnus returning. They're attacking Cadia right now. That's the new one.
Yeah, holy cow! Like, I don't even care about the game. I just want to know like what happens.
Yeah.
Because Warzone finished. She said, okay, you know what? The wolves are going to get punched around, and their heroes are going to step up, and they'll do all these really cool things. And at the end of the day, not much will change, and that's more or less what happened. But they're saying this on this one, they're like, Cadia will fall. That's a big deal because I mean, at that point, you're more or less a straight shot all the way to Terra. So, and I know you're one of those filthy heretics, but for a loyal son like myself, this is kind of a big deal.
It's real interesting to see where it's going to go.
Um, GW's given us some hints. They really have. They've, we've got a demon Primarch in Magnus, and Magnus talks about how his brother Angron is already on. Is already on Cadia. So, I would be kind of surprised if we don't see an Angron model here in the next month or two. And then at the same time, we had Logan Grimnar. He's the chapter master of the Space Wolves. He came back from his little jaunt over in the Warp, and he actually talks about how he saw Leman Russ. And he talked with Russ. So it's coming. Like, I fully believe that by the end of the year, we will see loyal Primarchs.
That'd be interesting. Well, unless you're Blood Angels, and then you just wait for your lost Primarch.
He's not lost. We know exactly where he is. He's just 6 feet under. I don't know. Okay, so you're a Blood Angels player. What did they do with Sanguinius?
I don't know. Because that was on the Battle for Terra, so we know the backlash of what happened. Because all the Blood Angels were connected, and all felt the death, and they seem to remember it on occasion and go crazy.
Yeah, but so Julimon, we know, is sitting basically laying in state, right? On Calth.
And the lion is resting in the rock.
Mm-hmm. Khan disappeared into the webways. We don't know where Vulcan is. We don't know where Korax went either. Said Russ is in the warp as well. So I mean, we have like general ideas where a lot of the Primarchs are, but I don't think I've actually ever heard what they did with Sanguinius. Once it was all said and done.
They probably sarcophagus or something, and
but I mean, like, is he on Terra or where is he?
That's a good question. One of the, I think it was Battle of Lost Souls. One of they were like, that Primarch's coming back would be a bad thing for the Imperium. because they were saying that Primarchs knew the Emperor as a man, and the Imperium right now worships him as a god.
True.
So the Primarchs come back and say, "Yeah, this is okay, dude."
The dear old dad had his faults.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Most of the loyalists wouldn't say the emperor had any faults, and I'm not sure they would really listen to any of the other guys. Yeah, no, like it actually, you're right. It presents a huge problem for the High Lords. Because especially like, some of the more forceful ones, imagine like Russ or Reboot or something, or the Lion too. They're going to have some pretty harsh words.
Yeah.
For the state of the Imperium.
The state of
They're
the
like,
Imperium.
I did not go through the Great Crusade for this.
Yeah, and you guys are worshiping him as a god. The one thing he didn't want happen.
Or did he? Or did he? Because there's a belief, or a thought out there, that the Emperor is actually a fallen chaos god, and that all of this is actually his way to get back at the other chaos gods. I realize how heretical that is, but nonetheless, it's there.
Well, I mean and then there's like the Void Dragon that's may or may not be locked up in Mars.
Oh, we know that is. That's definitely there. That's actually a shard of the Satan.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on in 40K universe. It's like they're finally in a spot that they're telling us this. They're moving the timeline up. Hopefully, we might see the 42nd millennium.
So I don't think we need to go that far. Like, I mean, obviously we could, right? Like, let's say Abaddon finally makes it to Terra, and I don't know, he kills the Emperor, right? Sure, why not? But he doesn't really need to. I mean, I think there's still a lot of stories. Like, we can still keep this at like, 1 moment to midnight, and still tell a lot of interesting stories. And I think that we're doing that. Like, we're going to see the fall of Cadian, and you could stretch that out for 6 months to a year. And then we don't necessarily need to jump straight to Terra.
Yeah,
everybody's going to want to, but
well, and then there's we can. It can be
yeah, sure.
Well, because there's there's like multiple threats going on at the same time, right? The orcs are out there, and it's always like they're one wall away from unifying. The Tau are one leap away from being able to overcome the warp. The Tyranids, all we know is that right now this is just a scouting force.
Yeah.
And then every planet could be a planet that Necrons live on. So it's all these different threats going on at the same time.
Yeah, and yeah, and I think that there's a lot of other good stories you could tell there. I mean, even if you just want to stick with like the Imperium versus Chaos, there's tons of classic matchups, right? I mean, you could go to the Dark Angels and talk about, you know, um, them versus their fallen brothers. I think would kind of be something interesting to see, or like Cipher. Spend a little bit more time with that guy. Um, yeah, I just think that there's a whole lot of other places we can go and a whole lot of other things we can see and do before, we get all the way to Terra. And then Cypher will kill the Emperor, he'll become the Star Child or whatnot, and all sorts of other interesting things will happen from there. Boy. Okay. So now I'm like, I weathered it up. I don't know if you can see this or not, or how well you can see it, but we here. We'll can you see your screen?
Yeah.
We've I've got some some streaking and some chipping and stuff that I've put on him. I'm like, is that enough? Is that not enough? Like, I definitely don't think it's too much right now.
Less is more. Remember.
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of at that point. I've left the back generally clean because, this guy's, his wounds are on the front.
Yeah, running into combat.
But I guess maybe I could do like a couple little streaks there. That might make sense. But I still feel like the back needs like a spot of color somewhere. And I kind of want to like put a dot of light on that little radome thing or whatever it is. We'll see. Like the back needs something. And what, I'm not sure. But my freehand turned out well, and I'm happy with that. Though, and the weathering kind of on top of it, I think helps.
Yeah. How you keeping the gun like that, or you gonna do something different?
So I need to do something with it. I can't leave it how it is. It's got a really cool kind of color fade. I'll put this down here. Okay. It's got a cool color fade, and I'd like to try and incorporate that. But at the same time, you can tell that there's just like I didn't do anything. Like it looks like overspray.
You could blackline it, and then blackline it. So break up all the stuff, all the panels.
Mm-hmm.
Do scratch weathering on there, and then just make it look like it's like they met like it's a synthetic camo pattern that they put on there. They like skinned it or whatever, and it's just it's just been used up a lot.
Yeah.
Weathering, I guess, basically.
Yeah. I'm not sure that. Like, I'm thinking about taking there's definitely some raised portions. I'm thinking about just making those kind of like a cold gray. I can highlight those up as normal. Like that's kind of I don't know. That would kind of give me a hard color to kind of emphasize the color shifts going on in other places, but I'm really not sure.
Or you can do how Hell does in his book and just black it out and then color it up.
That is an option. It really is an option. And to be fair, it's not a bad one. Yeah, I don't know. That one is going to take. That's going to take some thought. That one's going to take a lot of thought.
So for the new year, anything exciting you're looking forward to?
Oh boy. Fall Acadia, I think is going to be a big deal, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. For the new year, I don't know. Like most of my thoughts are just on LVO at this point. And kind of a. I'm looking forward to finishing up. I've got this guy, my Suyon here. I've got him. These guys are going to be kind of the start of my Eugene Force, so I'm excited about getting that done. Or not so much done, but working on it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, to be fair, I feel like I've had a bit of hobby burnout. Like, I know I should be getting excited about stuff, but I haven't necessarily been excited. I just feel like I've got so much stuff to work on right now that I don't need a whole lot of other things. I don't know. That's the wrong way, right? Like, I'm supposed to have a buy mentality. What about you, man? Like, what are you excited for? What's getting you pumped?
I've got a couple events for Infinity coming up. So I'll be doing LVO and then Rumble at Route 66.
Oh, that's right. You're doing Rumble. Yeah. No thanks.
Come on, 2 days, 3 rounds each, 100 participants locked in a room.
So it's not that. It's just like Rumble seems like it's very much geared towards drinking. And not that I'm a prude about that sort of thing, but like I don't drink. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're just going to get hammered and play a ton of Infinity. Well, I have no interest in getting hammered with any of these people. I have no interest in getting hammered in general.
I'm not sure what. I don't ever see it as that because I mean they have their social hour. That's just that they call Beerfinity because it's just a leftover from Feast of Blades, but
yeah, and I don't know, like it's not doing it for me. I've had several invitations for it, and I at least know on Facebook a lot of the people who are going to it, but I don't think it. I just don't think that one is for me. And on top of that, Albuquerque's a crappy town.
Well, of course. They can't.
Like,
they can't.
I've been to Albuquerque exactly once, and I have no desire to return. So, yeah. So call me a hater, but there's really nothing about Rumble that is getting me interested.
Well, maybe once they start showing the swag bags.
That's true, man. Those swag magnets can be pretty epic. Still, no, I'm not gonna do it. So I'm not gonna go all the way to Albuquerque just to play a game that I can play with my friends here.
Yeah, other than that, yeah, I'm looking forward to see what 40K does. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of. I mean, we'll see more miniatures coming out this year. For just I'm waiting for that really like one line of miniatures that just blows everybody away.
Yeah, and so far there hasn't been anything yet, or at least anything that I know of on the horizon that's got me like totally amped. Like, yes, I need to play this, or I must have this, which is good.
And
Isn't that the key to happiness, right? Is to wanting what you have, and I have everything that I want right now.
Yeah, right. You tell yourself that.
One thing though, I just saw it today. Weta Workshop, the guys who did all the stuff for Lord of the Rings, they're working. They're working on something called Giant Killer Robots.
Like that's the name of the game is Giant Killer Robots. What? They're not bandying about what they are, I guess.
Here, let me show you. That's what. So yeah, in the near distant future, the small parts of civilization are owned by corporations, and abandoned cities are up for grabs. And so
Do they have any other pictures of it? Because I can't really.
Yeah, that's the only one I've seen. Right. So you got
Yeah, that's cool.
It's kind of like an arena, I guess.
Yeah, there's too much going on in that picture. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so giant killer robots. So sell me on it here, man. Like, what's
all right? So near distant future, corporations.
I mean, not a horrible premise, but certainly not an original one. What's this game got going for it? Like, what's its shtick, or what makes it special?
So the abandoned cities are up for grabs as far as salvage goes, and instead of just like all out war over the salvage stuff,
I have Infinity already.
Yeah. So they have these like scheduled matches with these giant robot squads, and whoever wins gets the salvage for that.
Are you there, sir?
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Casey, can you hear me?
Alan, I can't hear you if you're still on. Well, everyone, it seems like we may or may have lost Alan for a little bit. Oh, okay. We're so professional that we're actually texting each other while we're talking.
Yeah, because for some reason I do a screen share and I'll lose audio. uh, Fun stuff. Well, looks like we got some technical issues, so we're going to wrap it up.
I can hear you very, very muffled, sir.
Can you hear me, Casey?
Now I can hear you.
Odd.
So odd. So for those of you who don't know, Google is killing Hangouts, and that means that some weird stuff is probably going to start happening in the future.
So, premise of the game, if you didn't hear me.
No, I didn't hear you. Well, I heard the premise of the game is corporations are fighting it out for like cities and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I need like not bad, not exactly what I would call original either, but not bad.
So instead of like all-out war type of thing, they schedule these matches with these big giant robot squads. So you got your giant robot, and then you got your assets that can support your robot, and kind of like Titanfall, I would say, like a squad-based game. And whoever wins the match wins has rights for that salvage. And as they're instead of sending in these robots to collect the stuff, part of the fights is also to destroy the surrounding area to make salvage easier
or harder.
Yeah. So that's the premise. Like I said, it's the guys from Weta Workshop are working on designing it. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out from that. They will probably go to Kickstarter, so we'll be seeing that in the future.
Oh, and immediately, like, I lose half of my interest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, even the companies that I thought that I could trust, like, you know, Hawk War Games, have really had a hard time with Kickstarter. And, like, the idea of buying a game through Kickstarter does not appeal anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it's
I've been burned one too many times.
Not just even like the burning. It's you buy into it. You're like, yeah, this is gonna be great. And then the year or two it takes to come out, you're like, you've already moved on to something else.
Right.
And then you get your stuff, you're like, cool. Hey, anybody else playing this? Either everybody's got the stuff, or there's no, or nobody has the stuff, or the other thing is like there's no after effect, and no stores. There's nothing new coming out of the stores. So you got this really cool game, and nobody wants to. Nobody can play it.
Yeah, it's just like, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so great. Look at all this amazing stuff that I'm getting for dirt cheap. And then it gets to your door and you're like,
that's why it was dirt cheap.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow, your quality is really horrible. Or wow, now I have like this whole massive box that all dropped all at once. And I really am not excited to paint all of that. You know, it's just like a hobby overload.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's where I'm at with Kickstarter. You know, like the stuff that I'm actually okay with them like backing is the stuff that I actually don't really care about all that much. That might sound weird, but I'm just like, you know, if that gets delayed 3 to 6 months, or a year, don't really care. Which then in the same stroke I say, and if I don't care, why am I going to pay money for it?
Mhm.
So
And then you've got like Cool Mini, who it's like a pre-order, and so it's like you know you're going to get it in next 3 months. You're like, I just bought into was just market research. But yeah, that's all that I have for tonight. How about you?
yeah, that's about all I got. So sorry, folks, it's a little off. The technology is kind of fighting us here this evening, and we're having a little bit of trouble here with what we got going on. So, but maybe we just stop where we're ahead right now.
All right, that's it for me, folks. That's it for us. If you liked anything you saw here tonight or anything that we discussed, put it in the comments below. Let's start the discussion. Like this video, comment, share it with your friends if you want to make their lives more interesting. Casey,
We
anything
make
else?
everyone's lives better.
Casey, anything else?
Nothing from me, just except as always, if there's anything you guys want us to talk about or anything you'd like us to take a look at, shoot us an email at theatomicsalt@gmail.com. This has been the Atomic Salt, and I don't know, something's blown our mind tonight, right?
2016.
2016 is blown our minds so much that we can't even think about 2017. So there you go.
Good night, folks. Have a good one. See you next week.